such an honor and really a blessing for me to be here with you tonight and to share such a very special time with you. You know, as I was preparing to come down here today, my family left me at the metro station up in the north part of DC. I got on the train and then I went to the airport and I flew here and kind of made my way out to my hotel. And I realized that one of the things that I'm often really afraid of is being alone. When I was male, I was never afraid of being alone. I was an Army paratrooper. I led infantry troops on the DMZ in Korea. I led air defense soldiers through streets in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait where we knew we were being targeted for acts of terror, roadside bombings. I've been in places all by myself that a lot of people would be afraid to go with, you know, with the linebacker from the local football team, and I've not been afraid. Since I've transitioned, I've had a lot of opportunities to be afraid when I've been alone, and many of you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's why these events are so meaningful for me. Because I come here and I look out and I see all of you, and I recognize I'm not alone. And there are so many people in our community who need to know that. And you know, most of them are the ones who are not here tonight. They're the ones who are afraid to step out of their front door. But by your being here tonight and by them hearing, by them, you know, being there at their computer, just like I spent so many nights in front of my computer thinking I was the only person in the world who was like me, they'll know. And they'll find the courage to step out because they're not alone. I'm so blessed that I'm blessed to have a job. I'm blessed that I get to do political work, meaningful work that's making things different, that's making things better for the people of this country. We just, you know, very recently, many of you watched as President Obama signed into law the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act. And yet you also know, if you've been following the news, that just this week, there was a young person in Puerto Rico who was murdered brutally. There's been a lot of discussion in the community and some arguing in the community over what do we call that hate crime? Is it an anti-gay hate crime? But the victim was presenting female, right? Is it an anti-trans hate crime? I don't know that it matters a whole lot. It was one of us. And the hate crimes passage, you know, the passage of the Hate Crimes Act didn't prevent that death, and it's not going to prevent the next one or the one after that, unfortunately. But one of the elder statesmen of this movement for LGBT equality told me something that I thought was very, very wise once. He said this, he said, you know, we work so hard to pass good laws, but passing good laws is really the easiest part of our work. He said, the really hard part is changing this society, is changing this culture in ways that undergird those laws. And I think he's very, very right. And in honor of all of those that we memorialize this evening, that's what I think, that's why I'm here. I think that's why you're here. So that we can change this culture. So we can change it in ways so that when my little kids grow up, they'll look at me and say, Daddy, you had to pass a law? And it will just be unbelievable to them that things used to be this way. And so on behalf of my community, on behalf of the members of our organization and its volunteer leaders, on behalf of my family, my kids, and my wife, I want to thank you for coming here tonight. And I want to thank you for the work that each one of you is doing. Whether it's over there at City Hall or at the State House, whether it is in your own neighborhood or your workplace, to change this culture, to make it safer for all of us. So thank you so much for having me here tonight, and God bless you. I'm so honored to be a part of this.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I bring you greetings from the Shepherd's Table Covenant Church of Atlanta, a one-year-old congregation of affirming individuals made up of people from all walks of life. One of the things that is our motto at the Shepherd's Table, or affectionately called the table, is that there is a seat at the table for you. And with that, one of the things that I just want to say, Attorney Jamie, you were fantastic. I love that little story. I've got to change it out and use it a little bit one day. But one of the things that when I was preparing to come down here and to definitely speak to the people that would be here at TDOR this year, I started thinking about the fact that how years ago, I also have a little story, how years ago my former partner came to me and very admittedly said that he was in the process of transitioning. And I didn't know how to take it and didn't know what to think. And at that point in time in my life, I was transitioning, moving here to Atlanta. And a few years later, I came back and my former partner, who was then Carlos, introduced himself at that point as Candace. And to me, that was the most wonderful and liberating experience that I could have ever had. And being raised in the very traditional African-American Pentecostal church, I thought to myself, well, my God, this is still the same person that I love and that I know there's got to be a place at the table. But then everything that I was taught, everything that I used to hold so dear said, there's another way. But as I got to know God for myself and find out who God was to me, I realized, like so many of our other brothers and sisters, there is absolutely, positively, a place at the table for all of us. I want you all to know that I stand firmly on the fact that we are all the product of the Creator, and we are here at the table sharing of this wonderful feast. Thank you so much, Tracy, for allowing me just to show my fidelity here with this awesome congregation of people. And I want you all to know that we love you, and no matter what you think or say, there is a place at the table for you. Have a good evening.